Wow, so many entrepreneurs.
Tony, how you doing?
Good, good.
When was the last time we saw each other?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. This is the commitment to being an entrepreneur. 2 weeks ago, so Tony and I have the exact same birthday, April 30th.
I'm a little bit younger than him.
He's a little bit younger. And we both spent our birthday at an industry event in Los Angeles.
Correct.
On April 30th. So that is the commitment to being an entrepreneur. So one of the reasons why I invited Tony here is I've been a huge fan of everything that Tony has done over the last 10 years. And I mean, this is a tech event, and I think what's really incredible what Tony has done is, I know a lot of us see Tony as a great aviation pioneer in the region, but also actually see Tony as one of the greatest internet entrepreneurs in the region, because you actually look at what AirAsia has done. AirAsia.com is actually the biggest e-commerce site in all of Southeast Asia. It's bigger than Amazon, it's bigger than Lazada, bigger than Zalora, bigger than any other e-commerce site you could put together. And I was asking you just then, I think last year, your e-commerce revenue totaled about $1.5 billion US.
Yeah, a little bit more than that, but yeah, around that area.
Absolutely phenomenal. So what I thought I'd do today is, I want to have a little chat with you about your journey as an entrepreneur. So the team and I, we dug up some old photos, and we found a photo of you taken just recently.
Wow.
Same jacket?
That's before I knew Malaysian Airlines and Malaysian airports.
So tell us about that year. Like what was going through your head? I mean, this is literally day one of the AirAsia experience.
Yeah, that was not quite day one, maybe about two months or 3 months after.
Yeah.
But that was our first, that was our third plane. Because AirAsia had 2 planes,
Yep.
and it was our first big investment, was the third AirAsia aircraft. It was for 5 years, they only had 2 planes. Really it was, I don't know how, it's strange trying to think back at the time, but I was really scared of failing, but not because I was scared of failing. I was scared of letting down the 254 staff that were there for 5 years. Because if we failed, then they were out of a job. They were owned by a big company called DRB Hicom. They were never going to go bust with DRB Hicom. But with us, if we failed, they were going to go bust. So every day I'd be calling up my CFO and like, how much cash do we have? How much cash do we have? And you know, we just grew, but it was scary. I mean, if anyone says it isn't scary, then they're lying. Yeah. Because really, I remember our first press conference, someone said to me, "Will you be here in 3 months' time?" And I said, I really don't know. Come back and see us in 3 months' time. But I never thought further than like the next week, because we really didn't have much cash. We had no experience. We had, when we first started, 2 planes against much larger competitors. So it was a scary part, but exciting. I mean, it was fantastic. After 13 years at Warner Music and having to listen to other people tell you what to do, it was great to be your own entrepreneur, and I couldn't advise it more. Being your own boss is a fantastic feeling, as you know. It has its downsides, but it also has tremendous upsides.
I mean, what I find amazing about that time, and I think a lot of tech entrepreneurs start with, they write a business plan, and straight away they go out to raise lots and lots of money. You correct me if I'm wrong, you did it the other way around.
Well, not because I didn't want to, because no one wanted to give me money. I did have a business plan. I did try to raise money, but I couldn't even get a cup of coffee from anyone, right? I mean, fair enough. You've got a guy who was in the music business for 12 years who suddenly decides to start an airline. It's not exactly a very convincing story. So we had to, me and Kamarudin mortgage our houses, and that was the only cash we had. In fact, the remortgage never came through. So we had about 1 million ringgit, and that was the cash we had to run AirAsia.
Incredible.
So it was, but the internet was our savior, right? In that we were able to sell our tickets way in advance. We had a direct channel to our customers, and today 85% of our business is on the internet. So cash flow from all the passengers kept us going all that time, and we hope that we keep growing. And as we keep growing, we could just roll that cash until a bank decided to lend us some money.
Incredible. So you literally bought a struggling existing government airline for $1.
Well, it wasn't government.
Yeah,
It was
or is
kind
it-
of
or
GLC.
GLC. You bought it for $1.
Yeah.
And then I remember you took a chance on launching marketing campaigns to say, hey, everyone, come to the website and buy your tickets in advance for
Yeah.
flights launching in months X, Y, and Z, probably not even knowing if you'd be alive when those flights launched.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone said, oh, the internet wouldn't work. No one had used the internet
Correct. Yeah.
anywhere in Southeast Asia to sell tickets. And we took the idea from EasyJet and Ryanair. I went to Minneapolis to get, they rejected us when we went to Navitaire and said, could you re-sign up? They said, no, we're not interested, we're too busy. So I flew all the way to Minneapolis, which is the coldest city in the world, and didn't realize what the temperature was, and went with a t-shirt and froze my balls off in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But finally persuaded them that we were worth taking a chance. You know, all the things I had to go through. I remember when we bought AirAsia, DRB Highcom said you can have it for ringgit if you remove the parent guarantee from GE Capital. And I went to GE Capital and met about 2,000 risk analysts in Fairfield, Connecticut, right? There was a risk analyst for everything. And one guy said, well, you're not exactly a Swissair credit. And I went, no, I'm not. But 3 months later, Swissair went bust. So I said, see, we were lucky. But yeah, the internet was, everyone said, no one's got a credit card, no one's going to use it. But I knew Malaysians very well, right? If you put a good deal, they'll find a way.
Find it, yeah.
Right? They'll
Exactly.
find a way. They'll use their grandmother's card in America or whatever, right? We will find a way. And I think that's what, if there's one message you take away from this, is that if you have a good product, people will find a way, right? So during, I'll tell you another, I've been through every crisis known to mankind, right? SARS, bird flu, tsunami, earthquakes, you name it, right? And, marketing is always a great way. And to all the entrepreneurs here, please save some money for marketing, because too many great ideas, no one ever hears about it. And when SARS happened, no one wanted to fly. I don't know if you remember SARS. People thought you'd die if you flew, right? So I went to my marketing team and said, triple your advertising now. And they thought, what drugs are you taking? I don't take drugs anyway, just in case someone tweets that, and I get into lots of trouble. And I said, no, this is the best time to build our brand because no one else is advertising, right? And I said, drop the fares, because I knew Malaysians very well. If you put a fare low enough, they'll risk their lives, okay? At 800 ringgit, I'm not going to KK. At 80 ringgit, who the hell cares? I'm going. And so, there's always a way. There's always a way, but always when things are looking bleak, we've always turned to marketing to find a way out. And so, when we went to the internet, we put $0 for the airfare, only available on www.airasia.com. And we're creative. We Malaysians found a way to get those tickets.
Beautiful. How many people in the room have flown AirAsia before?
Oh, we love you. Thank you so much.
There's a room full of cheap people who don't care about their lives.
Yeah.
So now it's been how many years since you guys started?
15 years. 15
Incredible,
years.
huh?
15 years. Well, yeah, we've just finished our 15th year. We signed on September the 8th, 2001, subject to due diligence.
Yeah.
And that was 3 days later was 9/11. Welcome to the aviation business. What a way to start a business, right?
Yep.
I was watching Malaysia play Laos in football,
Yep.
and we were losing. And I thought, wow, that's bad. How did we ever lose to Laos? And we used to beat Korea and Japan. And then people were texting me saying America's been attacked and Twin Towers are falling, and you just think it was a joke, right?
Yeah.
It was SMS at those days. And I came back and you're watching things that you never believe would have happened. And we had just bought an airline. And
Clever. Yeah.
on December the 8th, 2001, we took over AirAsia with 2 planes and 254 staff, terrified staff, because they'd only seen me on Anugerah Industry Music. And now I was their owner. I was selling dangdut music and nasheed music, and now as an airline owner with Din. And, roll on 16 years, we now have 220 planes. We carry 65 million people a year. and we have 20,000 staff, so it's been quite a ride.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, it's funny, when you read biographies of a lot of great entrepreneurs, a lot of them often credit their mother as being one of the key influences in their life. And I know you said before that your mother was a really, really strong influence.
Yeah, my mother was, she was yeah, well, I've never had this on stage. Not often I'm lost for words. But yeah, my mother was she could sell ice to an Eskimo. She was an incredible woman.
Yep.
She was a music teacher, and then she decided to be a saleswoman and went in to sell Tupperware.
Mm.
And she was unbelievable at selling Tupperware, right?
Did she bring you to those Tupperware
yeah,
meetings?
Yeah, that's how I got into planes. You know, when I was 5 years old, I told my dad, you know, I want to be an airline owner, which of course he said, if you make it past the doorman at the Hilton Hotel, you're doing well. And he was never one to give much credit. Well, my mother was completely the opposite. And I loved planes, right? I always used to go and pick her up at the airport. And then as I got older, she said, come with me. And she was amazingly full of energy, right? At 3 o'clock in the morning, she'd wake me up and said, you know, I've composed a song to motivate my dealers. Come help me play it. So I'd be playing there, you know, sitting on the yellow pages. I got a Tupper feeling up in my head, sell more Tupperware, sell more Tupperware. And, you know, we'd just go around Malaysia selling Tupperware. And so she showed me the power of communication, the power of motivating people. I mean, I'm nothing like her, you know, but she really taught me a lot. And she was a big, and she told me that anything is possible. You know, she was never afraid of a challenge. She was never afraid of taking things on. And that's kind of what we've done.
So why don't we sell Tupperware in AirAsia?
Yeah, well, I met the owner actually the other day. We were going to see the Pope. I never thought I'd ever meet the Pope, but it was kind of cool to meet the Pope. And Mr. Tupperware was there. And so we talked about it, but I don't think that's a feasible thing to sell Tupperware in AirAsia.
So we've got a great photo of you and your mother. I've got a photo coming up now of another important woman in your life.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. I was worried about what that photo was going to be. This is all right.
Is this when you joined the Mile High Club, or?
No, right. Well, Richard's there's a good story there. So he was actually I'm wet because he poured 20 glasses of orange over me. Not that I'm excited to see him, and. A few of the dirty people here understood that joke. So, yeah, it's a great story actually because I qualified as an accountant. I was a really bad accountant, and I was a musician, so I wrote to every record company, and they all told me to go to hell. And Virgin offered me an interview, so I went along for the interview, and they also told me to go to hell. And I was walking down, and I saw Richard Branson coming in. So I thought, shall I be this shy Malaysian and just smile and walk off, or shall I take an opportunity, take a chance? And I think that's another thing that, if there's another lesson to take away, chances don't come very often. So if you get them, grab them. Us Malaysians, we analyze too much. You know, we talk to our grandmother, grandfather, great-grandmother, Patrick Grove, and then analyze whether to make the decision. Chances come, and you just gotta grab them.
And go for it.
And so I said, hey, Richard, how are you? Have you been to my country, Malaysia? Because I knew that would kind of interest him a little bit, right? And I no, I haven't been to Malaysia. And then we started talking about Malaysia. And then he said, why are you here? I said, oh, I came for a job, but you rejected me. He said, oh, let's have a coffee. And we kind of started having a coffee and started talking. He said, there's something really special about you. I'm going to hire you. Yeah. And that's how I got my job at Virgin. And he put me in Virgin Television, which was, he was ahead of the game. Virgin Television was satellite TV, and he had something called Music Box, which was precursor to MTV. But it, you know, the world wasn't ready for that. It didn't really work. But I remember joining Virgin Television in the accounts department, and the balance sheet didn't balance. You know, it was like, whoa. And you can actually qualify as an accountant without knowing actually what you're doing. So I remember calling my girlfriend saying, well, the debit goes here. Where does the credit go? But I fixed it, and then I
Yeah.
moved on, and then Richard started an airline, and then I decided that was a crazy thing to do. It's funny how life screws you up. And so I left and joined Warner Music, and then later on in life we reunited. He threw me a party on Necker Island for all the money I made him, signing various bands in the end. And we were sitting there on the beach at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he says, "Hey, how come we haven't done a business together?" I said, "Well, generally because you steal off everyone and never put your own money in." And then Boy George, I don't know if you guys are old enough to know who Boy George is,
Yep.
walked past and said, "Hey, you two should do a business together." He was like stoned out of his head. And I thought, well,
Did he look like that?
no, not as bad. And so I said, well, Boy George says, "Let's do a business. It must be a good idea." So we started AirAsia X together. And then we've just done lots of things together. And then this idea, we had a Formula One team, and he had one. Both of them were disasters. But in the first season, I beat him, and he lost his bet, and he kept to his words, and he flew as a stewardess from Perth to London.
Beautiful.
And Perth to London, Perth to KL.
Beautiful.
And it was great.
1 a.m. at a party is often where the best business ideas come from.
Yeah, it is. You know, everyone says I want to be like him or I'm like him, but we're very, very different. We love ideas.
Yep.
That's about it. But I have no interest in going to the moon. You know, he said, "Come with me on Galactica." I said, "Why? What are we going to do when we get to the moon, right? You can't go for a beer or, you know."
Well, if
Go out
anyone
with
could sell seats to
Patrick,
Malaysians, I'm sure you can
etc.
sell Malaysian seats to the moon. So.
Well, could do. Could leave people on the moon.
Yeah. Tell me about this. This is the first time I've ever seen you wear a tie.
Yeah, it's in India. There's serious people over there. So
How is India? How's it going?
India's going good
Yeah.
now. We've
Yeah.
been sued every day. But our competitors have been trying to, you know,
Yeah.
they don't like us, so they're doing their best to pull us out. But they don't realize we've been trained in Malaysia. So we're very tough.
Used to be.
We're very tough. And,
Yeah.
you know, Ratan Tata is kind of a legend and a bit of a hero to me. So it's an amazing kind of venture.
Yep.
It's amazing for a little Malaysian company to be one of the first foreign airline into India. And we now got 10 planes. We're just about to make money. And it's been a tough experience. I wouldn't lie to you. But, you know, we're getting there. And it's a fantastic market. And if we can make it work, brilliant. But the great thing about AirAsia India is that they've sued us so many times that they've built our brand profile so much. I'm on the papers every day in India. You know, they're going to arrest me, put me in jail, all kinds of things, right? And so AirAsia Malaysia and AirAsia Thailand have benefited tremendously from that.
Nice.
But it's proud. My dad was Indian. He was an Indian citizen till he died. And, you know, he'd be very proud that we're in India. So
Beautiful.
it was a big day, and we fly to Goa, which is where he's from.
I think AirAsia is one of the rare private sector Malaysian companies that has had so much success outside of Malaysia. I mean, you guys have operations and joint ventures all over the region.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, to all the budding entrepreneurs here, you've got to be good in your own country first.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks about going abroad. I mean, yeah, there are exceptions where sometimes you can go abroad first. So we started in Malaysia. We saw a massive opportunity in ASEAN. Everyone was focused on Thailand, on India and China. And we thought, wow, there's 700 million people here. Why doesn't anyone want to do that? And then we went to destinations that no one flew to. You know, went to Bandung. No one flew to Bandung, right?
Yep.
No Indonesian airline, nobody flew to Bandung. In fact, and I used to record music there. I used to record dangdut music. I was the dangdut king, right? And I said, why don't we fly to Bandung? And they said, okay, you know, let's do it. And now we have, 32 flights a day to Bandung, and a lot of airlines fly there. So we saw ASEAN as a great potential, and then from ASEAN we went to China, and then India. And now we have, airlines in 6 of the ASEAN countries.
Incredible.
And we've got India, and we recently announced China, which is pretty cool.
Incredible. What's going on here?
Oh, Barack Obama wants to buy QPR.
What'd you buy? Or what'd you sell?
No. Actually, at that point, Najib was telling him that I run a really good airline, but a really bad football club. um, and he was saying, how can you let your prime minister talk to you like that? I said, very simple. If I don't agree with him, he'll pull my license away.
Speaking of bad football clubs, QPR, you know, like...
Yeah, okay, let me, you know, you have one life before everyone says I'm a lunatic
Until you fly
and
AirAsia.
I'm all this. Yeah. Can you stop saying that before I sue you?
I need brand building, do it.
Yeah. Does anyone actually pay for iFlix here? Since he's going to have a go at my brand, I haven't met a paying customer yet. They're all freebies everywhere.
Yeah,
so shut the fuck up.
We're following the AirAsia strategy. We're following the AirAsia.
Okay.
It's zero if you go to the website, and then we charge you for food, we charge you for insurance, we charge you for...
There we go. It's all optional, mate. It's all optional. I'll explain to you the charging mechanism. If you watch a video with Harith Iskandar, you'll understand it. But going back to football. So, look, you kind of live one life. And I've taken the approach and I want to live my life to the most. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, of which many people would like to drive that bus, I would have lived a great life. I'd have no regrets, right? And I tell this story, which hopefully none of you have heard, but some of you may have heard. You know, I was sent to boarding school, and my parents didn't like me, so they sent me to boarding school. And I'd never been to England before, right? They came in one day and said, we're sending you to England to boarding school. Sounded an interesting concept. I went with my school suit to Subang Airport. You know, we're all looking cool. We had the unaccompanied miner's badge. Half of Damansara is coming to see you off, so you feel fairly cool. Got my Samsonite bag with Maggie Me in there. And I'm set, right? The coolness starts to wear off when you get on the plane. It was Qantas at the time. And when you arrive at Heathrow Airport, even in the late 70s, it was like, wow, it's so big, right? And everyone was white. Like, it was like that front row there. And I was like, wow, everyone's white. I'd never seen so many white people before. And I told my daughter, you have no such problem now, because when you arrive in Heathrow Airport, everyone's Indian.
There's no more white people.
You know, they're not white. They're all Indian in Heathrow. From the immigration officer who hates you to everywhere, right? And you get this stupid box when I got to my school called a tuck box. And you got to put your life's possessions in there, right? So I put my 4 dreams of my life on that tuck box.
Beautiful.
So I put a Qantas sticker, because I always wanted to own an airline. I put a Formula One car sticker. It was Williams, because I loved racing. I used to go to Batu Tiga, and I wanted to own a Formula One team. And I put West Ham United,
That's right.
which was the football team I used to support. And I wanted to own a football team, right? And there's a 4th one, which I won't tell you what it is till later. And, you know, I've had all those dreams, right? I mean, F1 was a disaster, but actually two great companies have come out of it. Caterham Cars, where we're now building a fantastic electric car, and Myrus, which is an amazing composite company. But for me, sitting at Bahrain, you know, having been outside the grid, looking at Formula One, I never had enough money to go and watch Formula One in London, in England. To be on the grid with Ferrari and Williams and Red Bull we were at the back of the grid, but it was an amazing experience, right, to be there. And then an opportunity, Bernie Ecclestone said to me, when me and Camarina were interested in buying West Ham, which failed, he said, why don't you buy QPR? Now, I used to live on Oxbridge Road, which is right by Loftus Road. And so I thought, oh yeah, that's an interesting concept. So we bought it, and with Ruben, and we kind of screwed it up for a few years. But I want to give you a picture, right? 2 pictures. Well, that picture was probably, in fact, today was the day,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
2 years ago, that we won that game. But, you know, to a guy, again, you guys are all very young, but I used to listen to football on radio, shortwave radio, right, where you had to hold the radio upside down, put it on thing, right? And the first season at QPR, the last game of the season was us versus Man City, right? And if Man City won, they were champions, and we potentially could have been relegated if Bolton Bolton had won, right? So we're all up there in true Malaysian style. You know, Cameroon's praying with his beads, Ruben's drinking on stage, and I'm like a bag of nerves, right? And we're losing 1-0 at halftime. Bolton were winning, and we're down, you know. But just before that, me and Cameroon and Ruben were driving to the stadium with the team. We all decided one for all and all for one. And everyone was like, you know, knocking, most Man City fans were abusing us and stuff. And I thought, wow, this is a dream, right? Here I was listening to a radio station, and I'm going to be in a football stadium, the most important game of that season, and I'm watching it live. It was incredible. And we're 1-0 down, and then suddenly we're 2-1 up, you know. Joey Barton bites someone. Then we're down to 10 men. And, you know, it's like, wow. And then, but they couldn't score. Man City couldn't score.
Yeah.
And then Khaldoon slipped me a check, and we lost 3-2. And Man City won, and was even sweeter. Bolton lost, and so we stayed up. So it was in the last 2 minutes, they scored 2 goals.
It's incredible.
And but we knew at 2-2, we knew that Bolton had lost, and the guys lost concentration, and Aguero scored. So everyone was happy. Man City won. I was really happy. Manchester United didn't get the league title, and we stayed up. And then this game, again, I mean, QPR's been up and down, and right now we believe we're building something great, but who knows. But this game, we got into the playoffs. We're in Wembley Stadium. Again, for a football fan, you're at Wembley Stadium. There are 40,000 QPR fans and Derby fans. We're completely outplayed. We haven't had one shot on goal. We get a player sent off. We're down to 10 men, and we have one shot in the 89th minute. You know, Junior Hoylett goes down, crosses to Bobby Zamora. It's the only shot we had, and he scores in the 89th minute, right? And we all go bananas, and then we win. And you're on the pitch at Wembley Stadium, and there are 45,000 fans, and it's an incredible feeling. So, yeah, it's probably not the wisest thing in the world to buy football clubs and Formula One teams, but you know, you live once. I live my dreams. If I get hit by a bus, probably by you now, after what I said about iFlix, it was great. And poor Joey Barton, you know, he carried me, didn't realize how heavy I was. And so his pre-season was much tougher.
I think he's never played again since you jumped on him, right? Beautiful. So, oh, here we go. This is the last photo. You've been posting a lot of fitness photos on your Instagram lately.
Yeah, it's the one dream in my life, to be thin again. And that first photo has kind of showed me how hard I have to work. But it's a challenge. Malaysia is a challenge because food is so great.
There's good food.
You know, and you work crazy hours, and alcohol is everywhere, and chocolate
it's actually right outside that door waiting for us.
So, but I'm really determined this time. Troy is my trainer.
Yep.
He's from QPR, and I'm really determined to lose this stomach. I'm getting there. I'm from 102 pounds. No, pounds. kilos to now I'm 95.
Yep.
You know, I did 12 rounds of boxing today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fitter. Long way to go, but it's food, really. You know, sugar is a real killer. Sugar is
especially in this country.
It's all sugar. We have sugar in everything, absolutely everything. So I'm trying hard. It's my last goal in life. If I succeed and look like you, then I'm on my way.
It's hard to get healthy food on your snack attack selections on the plane.
Yeah, that's true. That's something I've challenged them with.
It's always nasi lemak.
Yeah, I know. We do have food that kills you. But you know, you don't fly with us every day, right?
That's right.
So you're allowed
That's right.
bad food once in a while.
There we go. So there we go. You know what? Thank you so much. You only live once. Big round of applause to Tony.
Thank you.
You know what? So the team got a little gift for you. Because,
Oh, wow.
And it's actually boxing gloves. And on the boxing gloves, it actually says Disruptor of the Decade.
Oh, wow, how cool. Thank you very much. Oh, that's cool. What a cool gift. And it's red. Thank you very much. Oh, we got a box?
Should we box?
We box.
This guy's been taking lessons though, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna box. Or come down? Okay.
Coming down to box?
Okay.
Okay. We're really going to box? Then I have to take this off. Yeah. Oh, is this is a Wii? Oh, Xbox?
Okay, how do we do this? Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Do I hit him, actually?
Fight! Let battle commence!
Wait,
Incredible straight, hits home.
which one am I?
Face the sensor. Oh, do I not hit him?
Oh, face the sensor. He hit me.
Excellent
So
block.
which one? Who am I? Okay.
Straight punch, finding its target there. Powerful combination. Devastating left hand.
Move back.
Lightning fast straight there. Lands one to the head.
Get out of the way.
Oh, crafty uppercut. Ouch! I felt that straight. Takes one to the head. Clobbers the opponent with another body strike.
Or is it hard?
A straight hits the mark. That's a headshot right there. Dexterous combination. This fight knows how to block. Well defended. That one found its mark all right. Now would be a good time to borrow money off this fighter. Bam! Headshot. Always ready with the combinations, this one. A few more body shots like that'll do the trick. In with a straight. Big one, too. It's almost as if one of these fighters has given up. Sound block. Heating the blow there. Good straight. Excellent. And that's the end of the first round.
All right.
Going to remind you at
All right,
home
buddy.
of the action now.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank you.